I want to talk to Deborah, who's calling in from North Carolina. So I think hers is most relevant right now. Deborah, you're live on Truth Wanted. What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Going good.
I just wanted to... Good. I wanted to bring up the suffering that... I've had some conversations online about, well, what about the suffering in this world and with especially with Christians, and they bring up this question, and I find it a little bit ironic because there's so much suffering in the Bible. When you have slavery and misogyny and genocide, genital mutilation, famines, selective supremacy, land theft, I kind of find it hard to take their worldview seriously with respect to ethics and morality, because they kind of dismiss all that and say, well, their reward is in heaven.
Oh, yeah. Right.
It's really repulsive.
It's a framing game. It's always been a framing game, and Christianity is not exclusive to that. Lots of religions are really great at it, but yes, it either boils down to ignorance, as in somebody doesn't know that these atrocities existed, or they know that these things happen, but they're framed in such a way that they become palatable or acceptable to someone's consciousness. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say their approach is also
it's projection.
Yeah, projection on some levels too. Absolutely.
And no religion has answered the question of evil properly, as far as I'm concerned. Like, to just say it's okay that we've suffered these horrible things now because we'll get rewarded later doesn't make anything better for me. And sometimes I've heard the answer, well, God is the one in power; he can do whatever he wants. But that's just supporting tyranny in that context.
Right.
I don't think that is a moral framework, which is why, like you said, it's ironic that they try to claim ownership of objective morality, when in reality their God is responsible for genocide, the worst kind of genocide.
Yep. The truth is, and this is true for any major religion that has ever had political relevancy, is that religions can be used to defend power structures that are already in place. Why is it that we live in a society that has historically valued a patriarchy for thousands of years? Part of that is due to a Christian mythos that defends this idea that a man is supposed to be head of a household and that whatever he says, it kind of goes. In order to not upset that, how do you justify that? What do you say? Well, you cite this text that agrees with this position and agrees with the power systems that are already at place. Same thing with slavery, okay? Hundreds, if not thousands of books and texts have been written by Christians over the years in defense of slavery. And not talking about just the slavery that you find in the Bible, but more modern forms of slavery, specifically the import of peoples from Africa and other nations into the United States. I mean, how many churches and church members were full of people who were slave owners and didn't bat an eye at that fact? The truth is, people just like
scripture to support it.
They do. It didn't bother a lot of people's consciousness because they had some sort of scriptural justification, religious justification to support the powers that be, and it's awful. It's truly awful.
Right. So to just kind of put a pin on the whole point, it is absolutely oppression to conformity, whether it's trying to push their religion onto other people via proselytizing, or whether it's trying to excuse away these atrocities.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I think in years' times we will see a lot of Christians who, just like now, who pretend like the owning of people, or racism in America wasn't justified by Christianity. Those who pretend that those systems weren't in place. We'll see the same thing about homosexual people who live in the United States and worldwide. I think 50 years from now, there's going to be a lot of Christians who say, "Oh, well, the Bible was never about justifying against homosexuality."
Well, you get it now.
People were just, you hear that now. It's just a wrong interpretation of the Bible. Okay, sure. Even if that's true, let's say that that's true and that originally, it meant something else. It doesn't matter, because for 2,000 years, it meant something else for a lot of people. Maybe not exactly 2,000, but you get the idea. It's been a part of a justification of power for centuries. and it has caused misery as a result. And you have to rectify that if you're a Christian. You have to, I don't know, you have to deal with that.
Right. And Texas is a perfect case in point.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Texas,
for sure.
Texas is a perfect case in point. My goodness, listen. We've been talking about this particular issue a lot these past few weeks, but I am seriously worried about living in this state for the next couple of years. I thought weed was going to be legalized by now. Damn it! And now we're getting all this shit with abortion being illegal.
I mean,
it's just ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. And the same people that pretend to care about maintaining the Constitution are then immediately willing to throw it in the trash because of their religious convictions.
It's true. It's true.
It's
yeah. So anyway, it's a good to get that off our chest sometimes, huh, Deborah?
Yes, that's all I wanted to say. You move along to the next caller. Have a great night.
I appreciate it, Deborah. You too. No, it's always good to just kind of bring it out in the open again. We talk about why do we do this stuff? Why do we talk about it? It's a question that I get asked a lot, and it's because of stuff like this. Everything that we just talked about.
Yeah, when they ask like, why do we care if we don't believe in God? It's like, well, because those beliefs have consequences.
Absolutely,
that are horrible. So.
Absolutely, and beliefs matter when it comes to human interactions. Your beliefs affect other people's lives. Period. They absolutely do, and you have to deal with that. I think it's responsible to deal with that.